We're now joined by Yael Eckstein. She's the president and CEO of the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. Thank you very much for being with us today and for joining us from Jerusalem.
Thank you. I'm happy to be on.
So the survey found, I understand, that the average cost of school supplies for each child is 612 shekels, or around 612, the equivalent of approximately $180. And you're telling me that 25% of Israelis, that's a quarter of Israelis, can't afford less than $200 for their kids' school supplies?
Well, it's a sad piece of data that we've discovered, but the truth is, for anyone in Israel, it's not so surprising, as the prices for basic items like food and medicine and school supplies have been increasing so quickly. Most families can't keep up with the rise of those costs with basically the same salary. And so what we see now are children are going back to school, and there are many families that don't only have one child, but they have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 children that on the same salary that they've had for the past 3, 4, 5 years, and the increase in these prices, it's leaving children going to school without the basics that they need, like a backpack or the pencils. And it's something that really distinguishes this time from being exciting, going back to school, from being one of real anxiety and sadness for the families that could barely make ends meet.
Definitely. And tell me a little bit about this endeavor of yours. It's a huge amount that you managed to raise. Who are the donors, and how long have you been at it?
Well, the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews is the largest philanthropic organization in Israel. We have over 650,000 donors, Jews and Christians, who stand with Israel to provide the basics. So whatever we do, whether it's providing food to tens of thousands of elderly on a daily basis or school supplies for children, everything we do is really done with love and providing them the dignity that they deserve, which is why we're not coming with a package of school supplies and telling the children, this is what you have, this is what you'll use, but we're giving them a voucher. So just like you said, how you remember going to Kravitz and doing the shopping for back to school, that they're able to have that dignity, that joy, and be able to do the same thing. And that's what our donors want.
I think it's a wonderful initiative, and I think it really resonates what you mentioned about giving them the ability to choose their own style, whatever they want to invest in, and giving them the voucher. Since you are in Jerusalem, and I haven't been living in Jerusalem for over 20 years, I will use this opportunity to ask you if Kravitz on Ben Yehuda pedestrian street is still there, because if so, that was my favorite. But I do also want to ask you what do you make of the new agreement with the teachers union that we just got the news of today? Teachers will earn 30% more. Principals will earn 35% more. That hasn't happened in Israel for years.
Well, speaking as a mother of 4, I think it is very timely, a day before school was supposed to start. And speaking as the head of the largest philanthropic organization in Israel that really meets the needs of these humanitarian, desperate situations of people needing food and medicine and heat and the basics, I hope and pray this is only the beginning. There are so many people in Israel living below the poverty line. Almost half of the residents of Jerusalem live below the poverty line. And you look across Israel, you see Holocaust survivors and children and families who are struggling so much. So I hope that this is just the beginning of bridging the par between the rich and the poor and the new immigrants, and giving real hope and future and possibility to pay the basic bills here in Israel for every single person.
Last, you mentioned the very diverse population of Jerusalem, for example, 50% of which is in poverty. Are these vouchers going to be distributed to people in all sectors of society?
All sectors of society will receive these vouchers. The fellowship helps over 2 million people annually, and we distribute aid according to need, not according to region or religion or any belief system, according to need. And so in every single city, when there are children who need these vouchers, we're working with over 55 organizations who work with poor communities and families across Israel to distribute these vouchers. We have over 10,000 backpacks based out of Lud with Yad B'Yad that we partnered with with in order to distribute. So every single city in Israel where there are children, and all of us know there are, thank God, a lot of children across Israel, they'll be able to get this help.
Lovely. Yael Eckstein, thank you very much.